What's good, YouTube? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to play Pathfinder in ranked arenas. Now, in this video, we're going to be discussing his usage of his abilities. We're going to be talking about understanding Pathfinder's role in arenas. We'll also be talking about the best maps and best gun setups for Pathfinder, and also the best teammates, or at least the best legend comp with Pathfinder. Now, first, understanding Pathfinder's role. When you're playing Pathfinder, you need to understand that you should be the more aggressive legend when playing arenas. The reason is because of his, his abilities and how he could get there and stuff like that, right? But you need to be aggressive when playing Pathfinder in arenas. Pathfinder is good for going for those materials, those heals, and also holding or getting to the power positions right away. So that's the main reason why Pathfinder has to be the aggressive person or the aggressive legend, right? He has to be there fast and he has to be there quick, and this is all because he has that grapple he has. Now, when you're playing Pathfinder, your role is to help your team hold that power position, right? Because you're gonna get there first, especially if the other team doesn't have a Pathfinder or even an Octane. So you're going to get to the power position first, and once you get to that power position first, you need to be able to hold for it for your team, and you can also get your team to the power position with his abilities, right? Or with his zipline, his ultimate. So just understand that when you're playing Pathfinder. And another thing when playing Path and your role that you need to understand is that when you're playing him, you have the ability to get angles on enemies. So just know that. And the reason why you're able to get different types of angles compared to other legends is because you have the zip line. So you have an escape ability, and you also have an ability to get there, to flank, or just at least hold angles to where it can frustrate the enemies and damage the enemies, or even knock the enemies. Now we're going to talk about understanding Pathfinder's abilities. And if you play Apex Legends, you know that his abilities are the zipline, the grapples, and also he has his passive, which is scanning the beacons. But in arenas, you don't scan beacons, so he basically does not have a passive at all. So the main two abilities we're going to be talking about are his zipline, which is his ultimate, and his grapple, which is his tactical. Now, when you start off the game, the game gives you automatically 2 grapples, and you could buy more grapples, but just know that every grapple that you buy costs 50 materials every time, and this is very low. So this is very good for Pathfinder. It's very low, and it's for an ability like that with the grapple, it's very good. So just know that this is very good for Path. And to be honest, really, for me, I mainly focus on getting 3 grapples. So I just buy 1 extra grapple. That's really all you need when playing one round of arenas. You're usually going to start off with the grapple in the beginning of the round, and then you'll have 2 extra ones. So that's really all you need for grapples. And your zipline costs 150 materials. Now just know that once you buy your zipline, you could save it for the next round, and you'll still have it right for the next round or more rounds after that if you never used it. But as soon as you use your zipline, just know that they changed it to where now you have to wait every other round to use it, or at least get it back. So just know that. So if you use your zipline in round 2, you can't use your zipline in round 3. You have to wait until round 4 to get your zipline, or at least use your zipline. So just understand that. And like I said, his zipline costs 150 materials, which is on the lower side compared to ultimate abilities, compared to other legends. But his zipline is very effective and very good. Now, the importance of his zipline is to help your team get to the power position, like I was talking about. you could get your team to the power position very quick. His zipline is very good. It helps your team, helps you, and it's very powerful, right? Now, with his tactical, his ability to grapple, you could grapple. His grapple is really good in Apex, or at least in arenas, or just Apex, because he could, if you hurt an enemy or if your teammates hurt an enemy, you could grapple in really good and then finish the enemy off. Or if you see an enemy off angled, you could definitely grapple in there and challenge them for a 1v1, or even, you know, knock them, do whatever you can, right? So just know that on the offensive side, PathFinder's grapple is very good. It's very strong. And for defensive purposes, if you're in a sticky situation or a difficult spot and you're by yourself, you could definitely use your grapple to get out of there. So that's the reasons why I was talking about how PathFinder is really good when you are getting angles, either in the beginning of the round or in the middle of the round. He's very good for getting angles because he could grapple away if the whole team sees that he's by himself, and they'll go after him. But because you're PathFinder, you're able to grapple away and get back to your teammates if needed. So PathFinder's two abilities in arenas, his grapple and his zipline, are very good. This is the reasons why it makes PathFinder one of the strongest legends in arenas, if not the strongest legends. Now, for the best maps and the best guns for PathFinder. For the best maps in arenas as of right now, I feel like Overflow, Party Crasher, and Gardens are the best maps for PathFinder. I feel like he's used and helps the team out in so many ways, and is very strong in all three of these maps. Now, the reason why I say Overflow is one of them is because PathFinder can hold power positions so good in this map, because one quick grapple can get him to the supply bins. It can get him to those power positions really good, right? In this video, you see me playing on Overflow, and his grapple gets you halfway to the map. So just understand that, learn how to use that grapple. But his zipline isn't really used on this map, so just know that PathFinder will mainly be individual type of character on this map, but is still really strong. Now the second map that I have is Party Crasher, because Party Crasher, you can use your zipline on the one side that's opposite to the ship, and this allows you to help your teammates get to the power position. But also, Party Crasher, you can use grapples to get to the material bins and also the supply bins on both sides. So he could get there quick and fast. Now on Gardens, Pathfinder and Octane are must-haves on this map, because Gardens is a type of map where you have to have the high ground, right? Every team is going to challenge for high ground, and there's no better legend to have than Pathfinder and Octane. So that's the reason why I have Gardens as one of the best maps for Pathfinder. But as of right now, Gardens is not in the rotations for arenas, but previously it was. So just in case if it does come back, just know that Gardens for Pathfinder is a must. Now the best guns in my opinion for Pathfinder is, I have, of course, the L-Star, right? You can never go wrong with the L-Star. Everyone uses the L-Star. It's a very good gun. Yeah, I made a video about top 5 guns in arenas for Apex, and the L-Star is one of them. So of course the L-Star, but I have mostly assault rifles, or at least guns that are mid to long range, because like I said, once you get to that power position, you want to hold. And also Pathfinder is a very big character, so up close battles, unless if you're very sure or if you hurt someone, then you could grapple in and fight them up close. But mainly you want to use Pathfinder to grapple to the position, grapple to the materials, grapple to the heals, and then hold those spots, right? Hold those angles. And to hold those angles, I feel like you should be using guns like assault rifles, which are like the R301, the G7 Scout, the Flatline. And if you're good with this gun, I would recommend using the Wingman also. But for me personally, I'm not good with it, so I don't use it as much. But if you are, I definitely recommend using the Wingman. Now, for my opinion, for the best legends as teammates to have with Pathfinder are more supportive legends, or legends that you that will help you. So I have that as Bloodhound, Seer, Lifeline, and even Rampart. Now the reason I have Rampart in there for arenas is because if your Pathfinder goes in and holds the enemies off, your Rampart is allowed to set up her Rampart walls, and then you guys now have the ability to have the walls. So that's very good to have with Pathfinder. Also, Bloodhound and Seer give you that ability to have the wall hacks, so you can never go wrong with those two as teammates. And Lifeline is good because Pathfinder is someone who probably might get knocked first, and because of that the reason because of that is because he's usually the first one in gunfights. So if he does get knocked, it's always good to have a Lifeline to come pick him up and res him. So those were the best teammates that I have for Pathfinder, those 4. And also, this is the video. If you did like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one.